All right, so now what I'm going to look at is graphing a piecewise function. I think this is where it's going to be the most tricky because of how it looks. So these first ones here, I've got two lines that I'm going to need to graph. I'm going to need to graph the line f of x equals 4, which basically is just saying graph the line y equals 4. And that is a horizontal line. My O disappeared. There we go. And we want to graph that between -6 and -3. So between when x is -6 and x is -3, we want to graph a horizontal line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the -6, -4. I'm going to click that point, and then I'm going to drag it over until I get to -3. Okay, so I've got a line, I've got a horizontal line between -6 and -3. Now, one thing I do notice is that the -6 has a less than or equal to, so I'm going to keep a closed circle on that, but my -3 has just a less than symbol. So I'm going to do an open circle. So you click on that endpoint to change it to an open circle. And then we need to graph the line y equals x plus 5. And so we're going to go from -3 to +4. So there aren't going to be any arrows or anything. It's going to start at -3 and stop at +4 for the x value. So it's going to be just a little section, a segment like that. So we need to graph a line that looks like that. And we can tell that it's going to have a positive slope because there's a 1 in front of the x. I can tell my y-intercept is 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot. Come on. Almost. What is going on? Okay, here's where I'm having my issues. I think I can't use the pen for this. Okay, so I'm going to plot it at -5, and I'm going to go up and over, up 1 over 1, and I'm going to go all the way up to +4. There we go. So now my x value is +4, and there's my y value. Now I'm going to try and see if it'll let me extend this line. And of course it won't, and I want to extend it all the way down here to when x is -3. So what I need to do then is I actually need to, I think I have to delete them both, and I have to start from -3 and then bring this all the way up and over, up 1 over 1, all the way until up 1 over 1, there we go, till x is 4. There we go. So I have x is -3. I'm going to do an open circle on that as well. And then I have, and that's because there is an open circle here at the -3. And then I have my closed circle on the +4. And so we should be able to scroll down here and check, submit. And are you sure you want to submit this? And that should be what they are looking for. Boom. Okay, so that's kind of how we graph these, what it's going to look like in order to do this. So let me see if I can delete some of this stuff. Erase this. So that's kind of how we graph. It's a little tricky at first. You can't have too many lines. Let me try and do one more. Next problem. Let's see if they've got one more for us. So these are in another set of restraints, so it's kind of done the same way. So I'm going to hit back. The last thing we're going to look at then is writing piecewise from a graph. And so what we're going to do here is we want to know what's this equation, what's going on here. I wonder if I can just do this. I don't know. My internet is not super fast. Okay, so I need to know I have two lines here. I have this first line, which seems to be, it's got an arrow on it, so it's extending down to infinity. So, and then it's stopping when x is -4. So it's going to be for anything where x is, I'm going to say less than or equal to, because it's going to the left, -4. So we just need to know what's the equation of this line. Well, what's our slope on it? We can see it's going up 1, 2, and then over 1, so it's a 2x for our slope. And if we were to continue this up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, we would be at positive 3. So I'm going to say 2x plus 3. Oops, maybe. And then for the second line, it starts when when x is 2, and then it goes. So we're going to say x is greater than 2. And then what's our equation? So this again is going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. But we would need to go down 2 backwards 1 in order to get to the y-intercept. So we do still have a slope, 2x. But then we would be doing down 2 back 1, so that'd be at 10. And then down 2 back 1, so that must be a minus 12 there for that. So it's kind of like working through what's the rest of this going to be. So I'm going to hit submit. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure that's right. And boom. So that's kind of how we get those points to work the way we want them to. So, and then it shows you your explanation here. And you could check by plugging it in like that. Okay. So hopefully that helps and makes more sense when you're doing all of those problems.